Hello, my Muna fam. Are you guys ready for the finale, the big end of 2021 and the start of a brand new year? I know I am. This year has personally brought a lot of highs for me and also a lot of lows. It has been an absolute roller coaster, as I'm sure it has been for a lot of people in the world. No matter what, I always get excited looking forward to a new year because it's just a time to really reflect on my goals and my motivations and get organized, and it always just feels like a fresh start to me. I know that the past couple of years have not had a very great track record in the world. No matter what, I just can't help but be hopeful for a new year and be excited for what's in store. I do think the end of the year and the start of a new one is a great opportunity to get organized, to start new things. I know I may not keep up with them, but hey, let me just bask in my motivation, okay? So I hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas or happy whatever holiday you like to celebrate with your family. And if you don't celebrate anything, I hope that you're just doing well. I hope you're vibing. I hope you're having a great time. And I hope you're getting some good crafting in these days. One thing that has been on my list to get organized because it's driving me nuts and it has been a huge weight on my shoulders is my giant list of works in progress. If you don't know what works in progress is, that is any crafty project in whatever medium that you've started but have not yet finished, okay? So like as long as you've done one stitch, one row, whatever it is, as long as you've started, that counts as a WIP. So if you have heard people talking that crafty lingo and you never knew what that was, consider yourself now educated. If you're new to my channel, hi, hello, welcome. I'm Em, and I have so many crafty interests. Honestly, I've got too many because I have more interests than I have the time to actually put into each of those interests. But honestly, I just wouldn't have it any other way. I love being able to explore a wide variety of crafts, and I never get bored. If I lose my crojo, God forbid, if I lose my crojo, my crochet motivation, then I know that I have lots of other hobbies that I can fall back on and work on. I also have lots of hobbies to spend money on. So because of these wide and varied interests I have in crafting, I end up with a pretty long list of works in progress. I like being able to have so many crafts going at once, but it gets a little bit like cluttered and unorganized, and I don't really know of a super great way to always store all of these projects that I've started. And what happens is because my time is spread so thin across all these different hobbies, I don't finish things as often as I would like. I would love to change that in the new year. That's like one of my resolutions or goals, if you will. I would really love to whittle down this works in progress list that I have and get it to a more reasonable amount. And I would also like to focus on finishing the things that I start instead of just leaving them unfinished for literal years. Grab a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, a cup of water if you're not into those two things. Just grab yourself something to drink and a snack because this is probably going to be a long one. This video is my end of 2021 WIP Parade. This is a term I have heard quite commonly used in the floss tube community on YouTube, aka the cross stitch and embroidery side of YouTube. They use this term WIP Parade, and they just show off all of their projects that they have started and not yet finished, and they do these periodically to just kind of show the progress in the things that they've worked on and completed. I think that's a pretty cool idea. And yes, I like to cross stitch and embroider things, but I thought, why not expand it to all of the WIPs I have? That way, maybe you guys can find it interesting to see all of the unfinished projects I have laying around this room, and it will help me become organized and like make a little overview. It literally forces me to go into the depths of my closet, pull out all of these projects that I've started and not finished, and kind of catalog them and be forced to confront the sheer amount works in progress that I have. Maybe I don't have as much as some people, but I know it's like, it's too much for me. I feel stressed. I feel overwhelmed. My little like bucket I keep here, I have this little like basket full of bags, project bags. It's overflowing, okay? There's like no more room to add any more new projects. So I would really like to go through these. I might even end up frogging some of them, but I just want to catalog everything I've got going on in a video here today. This also is going to serve as like a prequel, what do they call it, like a prologue to something I want to do in the new year. I want to do a crafty podcast in the new year where I basically just show the things that I'm working on, show the things that I finished, maybe show some things, cool new tools that I've bought, and just chat about my life because I love talking and I just need to like get it out of my system sometime. So I thought it'd be really cool in the new year to start a crafty podcast where maybe I upload it, you know, every 2 weeks or so and just catalog my progress in my crafty life. I think that would be really fun, but to kick it off, maybe I'll just kind of clear out, show everything that I have in progress, and just start with like a nice blank slate. So this is going to serve as like the pre-episode. This isn't episode 1 because it's not going to be the actual podcast format, but this is like the prequel, the prologue to what's to come. So the crafts that I do and the projects that I start are broken up across 9 different categories. I have 9 different crafty hobbies that I try to do on the regular. I feel like I should like pick up a new one to make it 10. It just needs to be a nice solid number. And apparently I think I just have all the time in the world to do all these things. But in this WIP Parade video, the actual works in progress that I'm going to show you today are only going to be broken up across 6 categories. That is because 3 of the categories I don't typically leave projects unfinished. Once I start something, I will complete it until the end. And those 3 categories are my knitting machine projects. Once I start something, I typically don't leave it on the machine and walk away. I do the whole project start to finish. Examples include the twist headband / ear warmers that I do, the beanies with a pom-pom, things like that. Sewing projects, normally I get all my sewing stuff out and I go to my kitchen table and I just like do everything in one go, and I don't really have open projects with that either. I might have a couple scrunchies that I need to finish sewing, or I'm waiting on like more tags for or elastic for or something like that, but I'm not counting it in this video. Examples of that, of things I like to make currently, are fabric scrunchies and tote bags, and I've also been into making some dog bandanas as well. And for Christmas, I just got a Cricut maker and I've been playing with that, and the projects that I've made with that I've just kind of done and completed. Most recently, last night, I was working on cutting out a bunch of tags and designing tags for my hats and headbands that I make on the knitting machine. So it's kind of like a bonus hobby. It complements your other hobbies well. And a Cricut, what that does is just like cut things. It just cuts things. That's what it does. It just cuts things. So I made these fun little like Munimade tags on there, and I also made a t-shirt that says like home is where the yarn is, things like that. But I don't have any open projects with that because I just got it, and the things that I've been doing on it, I just start and finish all in one go. So subtracting those 3 categories, we got 6 categories left, and they're going to be broken up in this video by chapters. So if you only have a particular craft that you're interested in, you can find the chapters in the description or somewhere on the YouTube interface where you can skip ahead. The categories are going to be as follows: crochet, which includes anything from blankets to amigurumi; hand knitting, which are things that I actually put onto knitting needles and knit by hand. We've got cross stitch and embroidery, which are like sister categories, and I don't have like too much for each of those, but I've got cross stitch projects to show you guys, which is literally like you take the Ada and you make the X's on the fabric. Cross stitch is a version of embroidery where you make little X pixels everywhere. So I like to do that. And as well as, I think I have like 1 or 2 open embroidery projects that are not the cross stitch, but just like straight embroidery. I'm sorry if I don't know all the correct terminology. I'm not a professional in all of these, okay? I also have diamond paintings to show you guys today. I know that a lot of you that are subscribed to this channel would be interested in that, coming from Munimade. And last but not least, I have my beloved, my special craft, something that I will never sell, but I only do it for myself and just to like bring joy to myself. It also has a lot of nostalgic value to me, which I'll talk about later in the video, and that is creating miniatures. And when I say miniatures, I mean like little miniature kits of like little houses and stores. I don't make like D&D miniatures or anything like that. I like to construct little pieces of furniture and plants and things out of paper and fabric and glue and some tweezers. So that is like a craft that I really love doing, but I will never, ever, 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 well, I can never say never, but I will most likely not ever be selling anything related to that because it's like my special craft. It's the craft that's just for me, that makes me happy. And I have a couple of works in progress in that category as well. Okay, so hopefully I can do this all in one go. I've got somewhere to be in a couple of hours. I don't know if I can get it all done, but I'm gonna try. And I'm gonna pull everything out. I'm gonna make a huge mess in my room and we're gonna go through everything that I've started here. Not every single one of these projects were started this year. I will say that. This is not like this is everything that I've started and not finished in 2021. This is just like everything that I have open, have not completed. And some of these projects are years old. So, and I didn't keep organized and write down the date that I started. So, honestly, I don't know. I'm not that organized, okay? All right, let's get started. So I learned how to crochet early in the year in 2017. I remember this because I bought a Star Wars kit to crochet a Yoda for my then boyfriend, now husband. We were long distance and I wanted to make something special and mail it to him. And I found this kit in the children's section of Sam's Club and I was like, oh, easy. I'm gonna learn how to crochet and make that. You know, spoiler alert, it was not easy and it was really hard. And it frustrated me to the point where I was like, oh my god, this is so hard. I've got to learn more. And I watched a bunch of YouTube videos. People all across YouTube taught me how to crochet. And ever since then, I haven't really stopped. I've just been crocheting and crocheting till sometimes my hands want to fall off. I'm going to get everything out and lay it out across my room. So let's get organized. All right, I have my pile ready to go for you guys. And surprisingly, I did not have as many works in progress as I thought I did. Maybe I have some like stashed away in places that I'll find in 10 years and be like, oops, forgot about this one. But it just goes to show that like once it kind of snowballs and piles up a little bit, it just feels like such a big weight. And I already feel so much lighter just cataloging it and just being like, okay, here is my list of what I've got going on here. So I have actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 10 crochet whips to show you guys with one honorable mention, and I'll tell you why when I get to it. So I'm going to start with showing you guys the thing that I most recently started first. And as I show these projects, I'll give you guys as much information as I possibly can remember, as well as show pattern designers and things like that on the screen if you want to get the pattern and make the same thing for yourself. So this project is something I started over Christmas. Please do not judge me. I told you guys, like I literally told you guys, I always do this. I always wait to the end of the month to do my Cal Pals project and I always somehow pull it out. Okay, so this tiny little thing is actually gonna be a gingerbread kitty. I have it in a project bag that I bought during my trip to Hawaii. And inside I just have my brown yarn, and actually on my desk, because I was most recently working on it, I just need like some Christmassy colors and some colors for the icing. I'm already knocking stuff around everywhere. I will put up on the screen a picture of what this is going to look like in the future for these projects, just so you can like visualize it, and I will always include the designer as well. Okay, so this is Gingerbread Kitties. So this is actually this month. It is currently December 29th, okay? When I'm filming this, this is this month's Cal Pals project, or one of them, and this is the one that I chose to work on for the time being. It's not a super huge project, so I think I can get it done in the next couple of days. I do have some free time coming up, but yeah, this is how much I've gotten done. I really thought I took this to my parents' house for Christmas, and I really thought I would get more done, and I just didn't, which is great, right? Like, I was entertained. I had fun during Christmas. We played board games and watched TV and stuff, and I don't know, it was a lot of fun. So it's not necessarily a bad thing that I didn't have more time to work on this, but here it is. All right, the rest of these are not going to go in any particular order, just kind of organize them in a way that makes sense. This is another Cal Pals project. This is made in one of my first tote bags I ever made, so I guess this is like a little bonus. You guys get to see some of the things that I like to sew on my sewing machine, but this is a tote bag slash project bag that I made myself. It's really not the greatest. It was like one of the first ones that I made. The sewing, the stitching is not perfect, but it is perfect for me, and I love it. It's got llamas on it with nerdy glasses. They're so cute. I love them. I definitely want to sell more project bags and things of the like in my shop in the new year. Anyways, this next work in progress I have to show you guys is really unfortunate that I did not complete. This was and is the Cal Pals Mystery Crochet Along month for the month of October. So these patterns were designed by Yarnaholic, aka Stitchcraft Sorceress, and I got the whole book made. Like, so this was a 3-part pattern, all right? So you made a little crow, which I fully completed. He is sewed, he is finished. The ends are woven in. I did complete the little crow, okay? I completed the book, like the structure of the book. However, I do need to go through and actually decorate it and add character and obviously sew in and finish off these ends. So I completed the crow and the spell book, but there was a third item that is a crystal ball, and I got this far into it. So I started crocheting and making the ball, and this is the color just all wadded up in here that I'm going to use as the base of the crystal ball. It's going to be a sparkly purple yarn with this golden color as the base of the ball. So it's like a shame. I mean, all of these things, it's a shame. Why did I stop working on them? I don't know. Something else distracted me. But you know, I got the book and I almost said bat. That's not a bat. The book and the crow done, and I got like a good start to the crystal ball. So I mean, just need to finish it. I'm just not in a spooky mood anymore, you know? Just not in the spooky mood, but I will finish that eventually someday. This whips list used to be a lot longer, but a couple months ago I did go through and I frogged some things, so listen, it used to be longer. The next thing I have to show you guys is still keeping with the Cal Pals theme, and this is a big shame. Like, I feel so ashamed showing this, and I guess this is like also kind of holding me accountable in a way too. I feel so ashamed how close I am to finishing this, and the fact that like I haven't is so shameful. So this is also a Cal Pals project. I believe this is from September of 2020. Okay, the theme was succulents. Right? I think it was September 2020. Anyways, it was around that time. Basically, all you need to know is it was like a year ago. And this was a project. It is like a cactus corner. Oh, I see an end poking out. Naughty, naughty. It is my very first corner-to-corner project ever, actually, and I think the only one that I've done. Not that I didn't enjoy it. Like, it was fun. I just haven't done another one since then. And it is a corner-to-corner cactus banner. This is for hanging up in your house and decorating your house. And you may think, like, well, that looks kind of done, Em. What are you talking about, including it in the whips? Well, it's not, because it's not on a dowel for hanging. So I'm calling it not done. It's not a finished project because I did not finish it. Also, in the pattern, you're supposed to make a cute little flower bud and sew that onto the cactus, and I would like to do that because I like flowers. So I need to crochet like a little flower to add on the tip of the cactus, as well as put a dowel or stick, I don't know, just to find a way to hang this and call it complete. I don't really know if this is something that I'm going to keep for myself. It doesn't really match my home decor, so this might be something that pops up in the Munimade shop someday when I eventually finish it. It's like, I just need to get it done, right? Like, it's like, I'm so close. I just need to get it done. That's how I feel about all of these. Like, what am I doing? Why am I starting new things when I could just finish these? I don't know. We're gonna move on to my Jake scarf. Let me show you. You're like, who's Jake? Jake from State Farm? Is that you? So I like to go to church on Sundays, and I like also to have something to work on in the car as well. If my husband is driving and we're ever going somewhere that is, 30 minutes or more away, then it seems like a good time to get some crocheting done, right? So for both of those things, I like having a project that is something I can easily take on the go. And something I define as a good on-the-go project would be something with a simple stitch and something that you don't need as many colors of yarn or supplies for. So I have just started winging this Jake scarf. Not Jake from State Farm, Jake from Adventure Time. A little known fact about me, maybe you'd be able to tell with like the little Adventure Time goodies I have in the background on my shelves. I love Adventure Time. That is the best show ever. It matches my humor exactly. The colors, the rainbows, it is everything I could ever wish for in a cartoon. If you've never seen Adventure Time, please do. Hopefully you have the same sense of humor as me. If not, then it will not be funny to you, but I love it. It's the best show. So I've kind of started just like freehanding and winging a scarf that I want to be Jake the dog from Adventure Time. So basically, he is a very stretchy dog in this cartoon, and his superpower, or his specialty, if you will, is that he can stretch and conform to any shape. So I thought it'd be really cute to make a scarf that's just like a big, long, stretched out version of Jake. So all that I've really got done is a big mustardy yellow colored rectangle. That's it. But I have plans, and I saw like ideas online. I'm not following a pattern or anything like that, but I want to basically on one end add his little face and his arms hanging down, and then on the other end add his legs and then his little tail. So that's what I'm planning to do with this. I'm still just working on getting it to the proper length. It's not long enough yet. Hopefully I have more of this yarn. See, that's the thing about leaving works in progress not finished for a long time, is because what if you run out of yarn and then by the time you go to complete it, that yarn is discontinued and you can't find it anymore? Yeah, so I should probably get cracking on this. I think this is Big Twist, and they carry that still at Joann's, so hopefully I won't be screwed if I run out of this. But anyways, that's what this is gonna be, and I liked it, and I don't know why I kind of put it down. I literally started bringing like amigurumi to church and stuff to work on, but I liked this a lot as an on-the-go project because it's a very simple back and forth stitch, and I only need one color of yarn. I don't have to have like stuffing and safety eyes and all these things. Like, I can just go and get some good progress done with having minimal supplies that will fit in a pouch in my purse. This next one is in a this bag is so cringy. This next one is in a bag that I won at an arcade. You know, when you get the tickets and you turn it in, you get a really amazing prize. This was probably like 1,000 tickets. I spent like $100 on it, but nonetheless. It is the silhouette of a little child feeding a pizza to a dinosaur, and it says, and I quote, "She ain't scared." Inspirational. Like, I don't know. I think they were just going for this like feminist girl power type quote, but it's just it just missed the mark a little. But proudly stored away in my she ain't scared bag is a little bit of a shameful work in progress for me, and it brings a lot of shame because I'm just like, I was so excited about this and then I just completely dropped the ball, and I'm pretty sure this has been sitting in my uncompleted bin for like at least a year, if not longer. So the game Fall Guys was very popular about a year ago, and longer at this point. But the game Fall Guys was once upon a time very popular. A lot of people still enjoy playing it, and I love that game. I loved the style, I loved the little bean dudes, and it's just like so much fun to play. Fall Guys, great game, love it, still love it to this day, would love to play it more. So I was like, you know what, it's been on my bucket list to write another pattern. If you didn't know, I have one published pattern currently. And it's a very simple pattern, and I got very discouraged with it, so I never wrote another one. But I had the bright idea, oh my gosh, I'm gonna write a Fall Guy pattern. They're easy enough, right? They're like little beans. Well, they're little beans, but they have this inset face that is kind of interesting to figure out exactly how you want to go about structuring that, because it's almost like they have like a bean suit on and their little face is indented. Anyways, all that to say, I wanted to design my own Fall Guy pattern, and I still do if I ever get back to it. I just thought it'd be really fun. And I think what inspired me to do this is I wanted to crochet a Fall Guy, and I looked up a lot of the patterns that were currently available back then, and I didn't like any of them. I just thought they were weird looking, and I just didn't like them that much. So I was like, you know what? I can make it better. This is as far as I got. I made like the bean shape, and then I started making the circular face, and I think the idea I was going for was that I was going to crochet, like tapestry crochet, the white face, the circle, and then I was going to crochet like a top stitch around it. I don't know. It was obviously, when you're designing patterns, it's a lot of experimentation, a lot of prototyping, and this is just like as far as I got with prototyping that. So these two skeins of yarn have been sitting attached to this bad boy for like a year now, probably more, honestly. I think I like black out, and I'm in denial about how long these things have been sitting uncompleted. Like, I can't remember if I started this when I lived in my apartment. I think I started it after I moved to this house, which was like September, October of last year. So it's probably about a year old. Anyways, I would love to get back to that. I would just love to design another pattern. I just think that would be really cool. I would love to get more into pattern designing, but it's intimidating, and you put so much work into it, and sometimes it just falls flat, and nobody buys it, and it's just like, why did I try so hard? Why did I work so hard on this? It's a lot of work to design patterns, but maybe I'll get back to it someday. Maybe I'll frog it. I don't know. Time will tell. Next up is an actual shirt that I started working on. If you know me at all and you know my crafting habits, you know that it's very rare for me to make wearables. Most of the time, I'm making little decorations, little amigurumi, just little things for around the house. But I saw this yarn. I know it doesn't look pleasant now. It's been in my bag. Look, let's just look at this side. This side looks all nicely caked. This side is a disaster. This side is good. I don't know how that happened. Look at this. Does this give you anxiety? It gives me anxiety. But wait, the other side is nice and clean. But I saw this yarn at Walmart, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's so pretty. It's like a bunch of my favorite colors bundled into one. I should make a shirt for myself out of that, because I'm trying to think. I don't have any. I have a poncho I've crocheted. But I don't have like a shirt that I've ever crocheted for myself. This is Red Heart Super Saver yarn. Oh, I don't think it's technically Super Saver. Yes, it is. Red Heart Super Saver color block in the colorway Party Time. So I saw some big old skeins of this at Walmart, and I just like couldn't resist. And do you know how, if any of you crochet or you knit, sometimes you see a skein of yarn and your brain just instantly thinks this yarn is destined to become this. So sometimes I'll see a skein of yarn, I'll be like, that is destined to become a blanket, or that it has to be a shirt, or that has to be a cute little llama amigurumi. Like, you just see it, and you see beyond what it is currently, and you see what it could be. You see the potential of what this blob of yarn could become. And I saw it in Walmart, and I was like, that needs to be a shirt for myself. So I don't remember the pattern I was using. That would probably be a deterrent why I haven't picked this up in a long time. I'm sure I could find it. If I do, I'll show a picture and of course put the designer, but I was following a pattern to make a very simple crocheted t-shirt, and it was made in panels, and I think this was going to be the front panel, and then you attach it to the back panel, and it was just going to be like a very loose, comfortable crochet t-shirt. Like, it wasn't going to be anything fancy. Literally just, I think these are either half double crochets. I think they're half doubles. It was just going to be half double crochets all the way, making this fun color block shirt. And I love how it works up, because in the name of the yarn, called color block, you have these big stripes of color, and then in between the big stripes of color you have these little variegated sections. And so I think it's just like a really, really pretty colorway, and it would be nice if I eventually finish this into something I could wear. Obviously with crochet there are big holes, and I would have to wear an undershirt underneath a shirt like that, but that is no problem. Yeah, it was going to be short sleeve. I live in Texas. It would be fun if I ever completed it, and if I remembered what the heck pattern I was trying to use. I think it was a free one too. Hopefully I saved it to my Ravelry library so I could like remember what the heck it is. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. I don't know what's going on here, but we're going to put it back in here and pretend it didn't happen. Okay, next I have a pair of little amigurumi friends that have sat unfinished for a while, and that is 2 little uniballs. So earlier I mentioned that I have written and published 1 crochet pattern before in my crafty life, and that is a very simple pattern for uniballs. I will insert some completed pictures of what they look like, but it's a ball and it's a uniball. And I have 2 of these that have sat unfinished for quite some time in my basket. This one is just white, and it's got purple and pink speckles on it, and the eyes are already inserted in everything. This was made quite some time ago. I would venture to say maybe it could even be like 2 or 3 years old. Yeah, because dude, I might have even made this when I lived back at my parents' house. That is like crazy that I could just let it sit so long. Like I should just throw it away or finish it and just get over it. But I think from the looks of it and looking at my crochet skills and looking how much of my dog's hair is on it, if you look at the bottom, my decreases were not very tight there. Showing some more gaping through the bottom of the project. So this tells me that this was like earlier on in my crocheting journey, because I think my skills have improved a lot since then. So it's hard for me to want to finish this, because I'm like, this is just not representative of my current skill level. However, I don't like wasting things at all, so I feel like I should just like finish him and be done with it. So he needs a horn, he needs feet, he needs hair, and he needs like some facial details, but I should just finish it or like turn it into something else. This doesn't have to be a uniball. It's literally just a ball with eyes. That's all it is. And then along with that, I have a second uniball. This one also was made quite some time ago. It's not quite as old as that one. I do remember vividly making this when I lived in my apartment and making it out of some yarn that I found at the Hobby Lobby across the street. Those were some good times. Living across the street from Hobby Lobby, like, I took that time for granted. Oh my gosh. But I also am not super happy with the quality of this one as well. The top of it and my increases look pretty good, but the bottom and my decreasing is not so much, and I can see some holes through. I think basically I was just using the improper size hook with this in combination with this one. Feels maybe slightly overstuffed, so that is like another deterrent. Also, I feel like the eyes, I didn't insert them on tight enough, and they kind of look like bug eyes. Like they're just like, they're like bulging out of its head. I don't know, but with this one, I actually have the ears and 2 feet done, which you need a total of 4 feet, but I actually have a little handful of the appendages that go on this guy. So really, I should just finish it and just get it done, get it out. I know, you know, maybe it's something I started a long time ago and my skills have improved since then, but I don't want to just like waste it. And it's not like I would have to cut it. I can't really frog this. This is something that I would have to cut and throw away the yarn and ruin the backs on the safety eyes and all of that. So I don't know. What's your opinion? What would you do with these? I don't know. And now we move on to a couple of blankets that I've started and not yet finished. Okay, I've shown this thing many times. It's very beautiful. Everyone always is in awe at how beautiful this thing is, and the fact that I haven't finished it makes me sad. I think there's just a lot of shame when I open up these bags, and I just feel like I just would rather ignore it than face it that I have left these unfinished for so long. So this is what I'm calling my sunset blanket. I'm trying my hardest to remember the name of the chick that designs these, but basically when these patterns come out, they come out as crochet alongs, and you have like the pattern for each week or whatever, and if you follow along real time, then you would make each part of the blanket. There's hair in my eye. If you follow along real time, each week as you and the other people in this group on Facebook are creating it, you're like discovering what the blanket looks like. And I think it's a mystery, so you don't know until the end what the final thing looks like. Anyways, regardless, she does a lot of crochet along, so if that's your thing and you like to crochet along with blankets, they come out fabulous. And each week basically just has like a couple rows of some special stitches that you do. So this one I'm calling my sunset blanket because the colors, and here is as far as I've gotten. It's pretty far. It's pretty far. So it starts with like this like tomato-y part in the middle, and it's like it's a good size. Maybe I could just call it quits there and call it an Afghan or even a baby blanket, but I still have some yarn, and basically I just want to keep going until I complete the yarn that I have. The yarn that I'm using is Lion Brand Cupcake yarn, and it is in the colorway Sea Breeze. So that is what that looks like, and honestly, this thing is so beautiful. I put in so much work, and I just think it's just so lovely. The textures on it are just so fun, and I really look forward to completing this someday and having it be a large blanket. It's worked in the round, so it's not a rectangle. It comes out to a large square size, and you basically just keep going until it's the size that you want it to be. So I think I'm just going to keep going until I run out of yarn. I have this much left of yarn, and I'll just keep going until I run out, because I think that yarn's discontinued. I don't know if I can get more of that, but someday I'll finish. The next whip I want to show you has actually been sitting behind me this whole time. Lots of you may have seen this around in the background of my videos and wondered what on earth this is. This is my Munifam community blanket, which I want to start back up again. So this is like, I guess, serving as an announcement that I want to start this back up again. Basically, the idea of it is I wanted a very mismatched, hodgepodge, put together, thrown together blanket that was made by different people in my community. So I had people mail me granny squares, and I have started attaching them and creating a blanket for myself. This is as far as we've got. It's got little flaps hanging off the end. It's not uniform. It is just very stitched together, but each of these squares represents a different member, a different and beloved member of the Munifam community. Some of these were actually made by me. I had a points redemption, a channel points redemption over when I was streaming on Twitch, where people could have me crochet the square for them, and they pick the colors that they want and all that. But lots of these were also mailed to me from all over the world from people that I consider friends, and I've included as part of this blanket. In my Discord server, I have a chat room where I catalog who each square is from or who it's for if I made it for them. That way, when I look at this blanket and I think, oh my gosh, like this square, it reminds me of so-and-so, it's really special to me. And I want to start this project back up because this is not done. It's not a full blanket size. And I need lots more squares to add on to it. So if you guys would like to either crochet or knit a granny square to mail it and be a part of my community blanket that I'm constructing, please mail it to my P.O. Box address that I have listed on the screen or in the description below. Make sure that your square is around 7 inches by 7 inches and it is made out of some type of washable yarn. So we're thinking like cotton acrylic. Other than that, the design is up to you. It really doesn't matter. The colors are up to you. Everything else is up to you as long as it's 7 inches by 7 inches or as close to it as possible. I can make it work and you mail it to my P.O. Box. So yeah, I should do a video sometime showing the blanket off. Maybe if I add some new squares onto it in the future, but yeah. Okay. Finally, last but not least, in the crochet category is technically an honorable mention because it's not entirely a crochet project. This is a little knitting machine. So I lied when I said I normally finish things from the knitting machine right away. I lied, I guess, but this is a knitting machine snowman and he is just awaiting a hat. I have purchased the smaller size knitting machine. I have an Addie king size and I purchased the smaller one. And a lot of people will make hats out of that for their snowman that they make. So if that comes in a timely manner, then I just might make his hat out of that. But I included it in the crochet category because technically I do plan to crochet a little hat for him, as I did also crochet this scarf and glue it to him. So it's like partly a knitting machine. As you can see, he is knitted. This is a part knitting machine project, part crochet to finish him off. So it's kind of like an honorable mention. I don't really want to have a whole other category for knitting machine projects when I just have this one thing, so I just booped it in the crochet category. Okay, we made it. We survived. We survived. That is everything I have started and not finished in the crochet side of things. All right, now I will show you a couple of knitting projects. All the other future categories are going to be shorter, don't worry. I learned how to knit a couple years ago, and then I think I kind of rage quit because of one of the projects I'm going to show you. I kind of rage quit and didn't pick it up for a really long time, and then I started a second project. And in between then, I've completed a couple of hand knitted things. I did make a headband that I listed in my shop and somebody bought it. Amazing. I'm not like a professional knitter, okay? I'm actually very novice when it comes to knitting, and the only things that I've done are very, very simple stitches. So all that being said, here is the project that made me rage quit. I still have it. I don't know why. Maybe I should just frog it and be done with it, but I think I started and frogged this project like not less than 10 times. I mean, this has been the most annoying project. Like the stitch markers I left on there are literally tarnishing. That's how long it has been since I've opened this up. This has memories. It also doesn't smell that great. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with this yarn, but it doesn't smell that great. Thankfully, this is a project that was supposed to be just for myself, so if I ever do finish it, then I could just wash it and it'll be okay. But it's supposed to be a lacy tank top, and I think this is the back panel. So as you can see, it's pretty complicated because you have to keep count and make these lacy openings in the knitting. So that's what I was going for, a tank top, because sweaters are just not as wearable here in Texas. So I went with a tank top. I will put a picture of what it's supposed to look like and put the pattern designer. Yes, I was following a pattern. And what happened is I just kept getting off track and I would start doing the wrong row, and it was very important that you kept track of what row you were doing and kept your count correctly, and I would keep messing it up. And so I rage quit and I restarted it so many times, and I just honestly at this point I'm probably just going to frog it and be done with it. So this probably is the last time you're ever going to see this. It's just so old. It's been sitting in this container for so long that it smells musty. I think that this yarn deserves to be repurposed into something else and then washed. Maybe it smells like that because of the tarnishing going on the stitch markers, and it kind of did some sort of chemical-y reaction. I don't know. Anyways, yeah. Just gonna put that away. The next project is a little bit more fun, and I haven't messed up so far on this one. This is in a tote bag that I sewed myself. It's really fun and tie-dye on the outside, but look at the inside. The inside is really cute balloon animals. It's fantastic. It's actually reversible, so I could flip it out and carry it with the balloon animal side out if I wanted. That's not the point of this video, though. So this project is actually a project from my Molly Makes Knitting book. On the cover, you see these little kitties right here. There is a burger one and an ice cream one. I started making the ice cream kitty. Let me show you. There's like another kitty I think you could make. They're so cute. I just remembered how cute these are. So we got like a little popcorn kitty, an ice cream kitty, and a burger kitty. And basically these are just like big, huggable, pillowy plushies that you can make. So the reason why I chose to start making the ice cream kitty is because obviously it's really cute, but I thought it would also be the easiest to just try to ease myself back into knitting because there's not very many color changes. There's actually none. I mean, you change color on the ice creams, but you don't, it's not like you're doing the tapestry changing colors every row with the other two. Haven't gotten too far with this yet, but you guys saw this yarn a little bit on the Uniball that I showed you earlier, but here it is. The stitch markers I think was helping me count the rows. Yes, I know I'm not the most evenly tensioned knitter. I'm pretty new when it comes to knitting, but this is as far as I got, and this is like one of the panels, and so hopefully someday this will become a cute ice cream kitty. That's it. That's all I have to show you that is in the knitting category. I think I've been a little too intimidated to start that many knitting projects. The next category of whips is cross stitch. I started cross stitching like a lot of people did during the lockdown phase of the pandemic. We weren't technically in lockdown anymore, but I can remember that, like I mentioned, I lived across the street from Hobby Lobby. Those were some good times, y'all. And it was just something that I wanted to try on stream to see how it goes. This was probably around maybe 2-ish years ago or so when I actually started doing it for the first time, but I got into it a lot more this summer because I wanted a more portable project and a more portable crafting to take with me to Hawaii and work on during those really, really long flights. So I got really into it and watched a lot of floss tube videos and things like that. Haven't been doing it too long, but it's something that I really enjoy and is really like a mindful, peaceful craft for me. I only have 3 whips to show you in the cross stitching category, and not because I don't love cross stitch, and I've probably done cross stitching the second most out of all of these. Like crochet, obviously I spent a lot of time working on that, but it's in between like cross stitch and diamond painting that I've spent the second most amount of time on. But if you've ever cross stitched, you know that a single piece takes a really long time, and so it's not often that you finish cross-stitching pieces. So I've got 3 to show you guys today. The first one is, so I did like a little starter kit to learn how to cross-stitch, and then after that I got really ambitious and bought this. This is a Bible verse cross-stitch, and you can see the hoop indentation because I literally just took it out of the hoop. This is a Bible stitch cross stitch project that I bought from Hobby Lobby. It came with the fabric and it came with all of the floss that is needed. It came with everything that is needed to complete it. And the reason why this project is so annoying is because if you look closely, there is tinsel and sparkly stuff all up in the stitching. The reason why that's annoying is because it tangles really easily. So this is really not a beginner cross-stitch project, but you know me, I was attracted to the sparkles and I was like, ooh, pretty, I'm gonna do that one. Not really realizing that it would not be as simple. You may notice that my method when it comes to cross-stitching isn't very uniform. I've tried a lot of different ways. I've tried going in rows, I've tried starting in the corner and going over, and I've basically just figured out that I kind of like to do a combination of cross country and parking. So what I will do is do cross country and just kind of like stitch in the next area that I need that color. And then once I've kind of crossed over to another area that is like outside of what I'm working on at the moment, it's too far away, I will go ahead and park that thread so that I can pick it up and use it again without having to cut it. That's a little complicated. I might do a video on like my cross stitching method in the future, but all of that to say, here she is. And I'm kind of at this point working my way around the frame. So I'm going up like this, and I'm going to start going across the top, and it's like a whole floral framed border. And this eventually I would love to have framed and hanging up in my house or gift it to my family. I did end up purchasing Pattern Keeper to help me keep more organized, and since I've started this, so hopefully I'll be better at cross-stitching and more organized in the future. Anyways, this is what the finished thing is supposed to look like. Like I said, it was a pattern kit from Hobby Lobby. This piece of cardstock has been well loved, but that is what it will eventually look like in the future. The next project I have to show you is one that I actually started on stream. If you go back to one of my first pieces of content on this channel, when I was back after my Hawaii vacation and starting creating content on YouTube rather than Twitch, I actually started this, and I didn't really get more progress done other than what I did on stream. This is the Oahu sampler. So it is a beautiful image of the island of Oahu, which is where I went in Hawaii. And it's a beautiful sampler piece that shows like a map of the island and some other motifs. And this is as far as I've gotten. Not very far. It's on a light blue Aida, and I feel like I've done a lot better at like keeping my back clean, and I've just done a better job on this piece overall because I am more experienced starting this one off. This is a really meaningful item because that trip meant so much to me and was like my favorite trip of all time. So I would love to someday complete this and hang this up in my house because Hawaii means so much to me, and my time spent there with my husband was just so perfect, and I wish I could live there and live in those moments forever, but a cross stitch remembering it will just have to do. And this last one I honestly don't even remember starting. I think I started this, oh hey, there's one of my cover minders I've been looking for. I think I started this when I was on the plane, either going to or coming from Oahu, Hawaii. What this is supposed to be is a watercolor map of the world. This is another kit from Hobby Lobby, probably put out by Zweigart, that came with all of the floss and everything you need. I can't find the picture at the moment, but I will insert it somewhere in the video when I get to it, but when I find it. But yeah, it's just like a watercolor. I don't even know which direction it goes, but it's a watercolor map of the world in like rainbow colors, and I just thought that was so beautiful. And yeah, the next category is embroidery, which is very similar to cross stitch. Correct me if I'm wrong, but cross stitch is just a type of embroidery. In cross stitching, you're making those X's, whereas embroidery is the term that encompasses just needlepoint stitching. Overall, I could be wrong, whatever. But these next two projects are not made with little X's and little symbols following a chart. These are like freehand different types of stitching. So the first one I have to show you is one that I haven't touched in maybe 5 years, a long time. That's all I know. I used to have a subscription to a magazine called Molly Makes. It's a really cute magazine, and I might pick up the subscription again someday. And each issue comes with like a small little crafty project for you to do. And Molly Makes magazine is kind of like all crafts, and so you'll get all different types of projects with it. Well, one of the projects was this little cute Easter bunny embroidery pillow decoration kit. So basically you take this stamped image of the Easter bunny and you are supposed to embroider on the little carrots in his basket and all the details. And then he has a backside too. And then you sew it together and make a tiny little plushy decoration for Easter. So I started that and did not get too far, but it has been many years since I started this, and so I will probably have a better time since I am more practiced in that type of thing these days. The next is a much more recent project and something that I actually started a couple days ago and I've been working on over the Christmas holiday, and that is a project that I actually won at a little white elephant party. This is in a mini tote bag that I sewed myself. It's a little embroidery kit that says Happy Holidays. Isn't that so freaking cute? Oh my god. And you stamp your doggy's paws on it and stitch around it. Now, here's the thing. I have 2 dogs. One of them is my little small chihuahua. She's a perfect angel. She's always well behaved. The other one is my crazy wild child, okay? So I think it's funny that their paw prints came out like this. Chica's is nice and clean and perfect, and Roxy was like wiggling and would not stay still when I was trying to stamp it. So even though it is messed up, I kind of love it because it shows the difference between my dog's personalities. And it'll look more clean as well when I get to that part, and I'm actually going to stitch an outline of the paws. But basically, I've been stitching the words. It was a stamped kit, and so I just stitched around where it was stamped and said Happy Holidays. It's not completely freehand. And then I'm just trying to fill it in with green. It doesn't look that good, but I'm too far into it to change my mind now. Like, if you look up close and if you look at the back, it's just one big knotted mess. But I'm too far into it now to go back. I believe this is from like the dollar spot at Target. The holidays are over, so they're not going to have it anymore. But yeah, that is where this is from, but I actually won it as a white elephant gift, and I think even though it's kind of like messed up or whatever, and the doggy's paw prints look jank, I think it's funny because it represents the difference between my dogs. Okay, the next category finally is diamond painting. So diamond painting has given me so much in my life. If you know anything about my shop, Munimade, that is what we're most known for. We sell diamond painting trays, and they sell out every week, and they're so sought after, and we have a lot of great feedback about how good these trays are and how it just completely elevates the experience of diamond painting. So the story with that is, again, back in the sort of like lockdown days of the pandemic. I remember Hobby Lobby was open. I ran over there with a mask on and I purchased my first diamond painting. I think I found it on clearance. My first diamond painting was a diamond dots kit. It was like 2 flamingos, and it wasn't a full coverage. It was just the flamingos were part of the diamonds that you put down, and I completed that and gave it to my mom for Mother's Day. And so I want to say this was like early 2020, and I gifted it to her for Mother's Day in May. So that is how I got started diamond painting, and soon after I bought another kit from Hobby Lobby, which I have in my whips technically, that I'm going to show you guys in just a minute. I remember working on that while binging TV shows while my husband was working on his laptop on the couch from home in our tiny apartment. So I remember working on that and thinking to myself, this tray that came with the kit is crapola. Like, I can't do this. I need a better tool. I need a better way. This is really annoying. And back then I didn't have 3D printers. I lived in a really small apartment. My dad had 3D printers and he was really into the hobby, and I asked if he could 3D print me a tray. So he did, and it was better but not quite perfect, and I just had the idea to set out and create the perfect tray. So I did. I made the perfect tray for myself, loved it, and then some of the people who watch my Twitch and stuff started wanting one, so I started listing it in my shop, and we have made it better and better since then. And now, lo and behold, a little over a year later, I have this whole freaking business built upon customers purchasing diamond painting trays, and we have tons of printers. They're running right now making products for you guys. So diamond painting is like one of those things that is just like, It's kind of weird how it happened. I started like a lot of people. I was very bored during the pandemic, and I wanted to try out diamond painting because I saw it all over the internet online, and I tried it out, and I just wanted a better tool for myself. So that's how the Munimade diamond painting trays came about. I myself, I do like to diamond paint from time to time. As you can see in this video, I'm spread thin with how many crafts I like to do, but I still do like to work on diamond painting. So let me show you what I've got in my whips pile. So this one is technically not a whip. This is the one I mentioned that was like my first big full kit that I purchased from Hobby Lobby and worked on while binging TV shows, bored out of my mind, not able to leave the house. And this is this beautiful sunflower kit. Like, I'm so in love with this, and the reason why I'm including it in my works in progress pile is because I want to hang this in my house, and it has been on my to-do list for like ever to get a frame and put this up in my house. So for me personally, I will consider this project complete once I have finally put it in a frame and hung it up in my house. I even have a spot. I moved into this house and immediately was like, that's where that diamond painting is going, and I just still have yet to do it. So here it is. It is by Diamond Dots. It is a kit from Hobby Lobby. The actual name of the canvas is called Hazy Daze, D-A-Z-E Sunflowers, and it is stunning, as you can see. It's not a full coverage piece, so only the flowers have the diamonds on it, and the background is part of the canvas, but I'm totally okay with that. It went by pretty fast. I don't know why, but this canvas, out of all the diamond paintings I've done, this one is super memorable to me. Not only because it was like one of my first, but it really stood out. The quality of the drills still to this day stand out in my mind. Like, they were just so beautiful, and the ABs they included, which are specially coated extra sparkly drills for diamond painting, were so pretty and made the flowers like pop. As you can, I think it's like the white parts, but I don't know what it is about this painting, but it's just so sparkly. It might be my favorite diamond painting I've ever completed. I have a small stack of ones in my closet that I've completed, but this one is just so good. I don't know what it is. It's the colors, it's the quality of the drills, it's the canvas. It's just like everything about it is so good, and I cannot wait to hang it up in my house. So that's not technically a whip because it is completed, but for me, the project is completing it and actually hanging it up in my house, and then I will consider it complete. The next whip I have to show you guys is from the beloved Diamond Art Club, which is a very well-known online retailer of high quality and beautiful diamond paintings if you are in the market of purchasing your own. So this one I just call Purple Girl because it's a girl in the woods or the mountains with lots of purple behind her. I think she's very pretty. My favorite color is purple, in case you didn't know. So I purchased this painting thinking, wow, purple's pinks, that one's for me. And here she is. I've done a lot of the background, as you can see, and I have saved the best part for last, and that is the beautiful girl in the foreground. I like to do that with the diamond paintings. I like to kind of do the background and then save the most important part, or the most fun part of the painting, for last. Super sparkly. We've got some ABs interspersed in there, but all of the colors are like shades of pink and purple, so you know I'm here for it. The next one I have to show you is one that I have worked on stream here before, and that is my beloved Shimmering Canvases Full Crystal Canvas. This was a gift to me from Dawn, the owner of Shimmering Canvases. I will never forget it. This is probably one of the nicest gifts I have ever received, just out of nowhere, randomly. So thank you so much, Dawn. This has brought so much joy to my life because look at it! Ah! It's a full crystal canvas, almost full crystal. There is one color that is AB. Crystals, if you didn't know, they're more like a rhinestone finish, whereas regular drills are very solid and not opaque. ABs have like a holographic coating, so that's what makes those different. So most of the colors in this are a rhinestone type finish, and then one of the colors has a holographic iridescent coating, and that is in some of these flowers. This big flower right here is where most of the ABs go. But this painting, even though the background is just a solid color, and that's pretty much mostly what I've worked on so far, I've had so much fun doing it. It's beautiful. I love it. It's good. I really like it. I've never done a crystal canvas before, so this is a treat for me. But here you go. here she is. I have done most of the like background. I'm trying to do the background first. I mean, I just couldn't resist starting the butterfly. I'm sorry, right there in the bottom. But I'm trying to do mostly the background first, and that way the fun part is for last in completing the butterfly. But this is so pretty. So pretty. And last but not least in the diamond painting category is a little bit of a prized possession of mine. And I already talked about it earlier in this video, but I have a great love for Adventure Time! So I have this Diamond Art Club Mandy Manzano Adventure Time painting. This thing is massive! I'm going to have to stand back so you can see the whole thing, but look. It's rolled still on the bottom. I can't even get it to all show in frame. But look at this thing. Oh my gosh. This thing is so big. I will never finish this. Like, I will have to include this diamond painting in my will for my offspring to complete for me. That is how big this is. I don't know, man. Maybe someday. I don't know. But this is one thing that I would definitely hang up in my craft room here. Because of how much I love Adventure Time and how colorful it is. It just matches my aesthetic perfectly, but I love this thing. It's huge. It's like a stained glass sort of look, and it has all of the characters from Adventure Time. I'm out of breath just handling this thing. Yeah, so obviously I've got a long ways to go on that one, as I have started from the top here and only got as far as Princess Bubblegum and did most of her body and a lot of these background colors here at the top. So I'm really excited to get to Lady Rainicorn here and the Ice King over there, but I love this thing. It's just one of those projects that, I don't know, like, will I ever finish? I hope so. I really do, but it's a big undertaking since diamond painting isn't like the only thing that I do, you know? Whenever I do get to sit down and do it, it's honestly a real treat for me. Whew! Thank God. Are you still with me? If you've been watching this whole thing or listening to it all the way through, like, kudos to you. Comment something down below. I'm looking around thinking about what to tell you to comment. Comment crafting is cool in the comments below if you have made it this far in the video. But we have now come upon the last and final category of whips that I have to show you guys today. And that is a very, very special craft to me because it's not as common as the other ones. And it's something that I do just for me. And it also holds a lot of sentimental meaning to me. So my grandma, who does not live here, she lives in Illinois, she has this beautiful dollhouse that her and my late grandfather built together. It has wired lighting in it. It has just the most intricate details. She even has seasonal decorations to switch out for the holidays and put in this beautiful dollhouse. This house, it's not like something you play with. It's like a scale model pretty much, and it's a Victorian type house, and she has it hanging on a shelf in the guest bedroom. So whenever I would go visit her growing up, I would stay in that bedroom. That would always be the bedroom that I stayed in, and I would always just admire this beautiful dollhouse the whole time I was there. Quite honestly, I had no idea that it was possible for you to purchase a kit for that type of thing. I always thought that you had to pretty much like, it was a big project and you had to source all the pieces and put it all together yourself and design it yourself. But that's not so. I was scrolling Facebook one day and saw an ad for a miniature kit that came with everything you needed to create something similar. Now, these are on a much smaller scale than that dollhouse is, but I just always admired it growing up, and I was always enamored by it and just studied every detail, and I can still like vividly picture it in my mind and the feelings it gave me just admiring the handiwork. It's still there at her house today. I don't get to see her too often, but when I do, it's always, of course, a joy to hang out with her. And of course, I love visiting my beloved dollhouse at her house. I just love it so much. So I found a kit through an ad. The ad worked on me. Yes, it did. I found a kit that was available for you to create that thing yourself. Oh my God, so cool. So let me show you what I mean. I have 2 of these miniature kits that are in progress. And basically, I've got a big bin here full of glue and paper and other goodies and a bunch of little like disassembled furniture pieces that go into a bigger miniature. I've completed 3 miniatures. I've completed 3 so far, but these are 2 that I have in progress. The first one being one that is pretty popular on the internet. I think this is the exact one that I saw an ad for that got me, that reeled me in. So you might have seen this thing floating around, but it is Kathy's Flower House, and it is a greenhouse miniature kit. So it comes with all the pieces you need to build this beautiful greenhouse, and you basically cut paper and use tweezers and make all of these tiny little flower and plant details. Like the instructions go through and you just assemble this tiny little greenhouse. And you know, towards the end there's instructions of like where to place the things, and you basically just make a bunch of tiny little plants and place them around. So that being said, that is in progress for me. I have not actually started building the structure because that takes up a lot of space. So I go through and I build like all of the smaller details before we start, you know, assembling it into the final big project. So I won't show you every single piece, but just to show you some of the pieces that are going to eventually make their way into the greenhouse. So we've got some little plants that I've worked on making. I gotta do like the whole makeup guru thingy to make it focus. So here's some little boxes of plants that I've started making. We've got some little, this is so cute, this little like shelf piece. I had to bend the wires and glue the shelf into place. This one's fun. Eventually, I think I'm going to put flowers that come out of this top drawer right here. But basically, it's like a little cabinet with a drawer hanging out, and I think I'm going to put flowers hanging out of that. It was really hard. You had to literally take the metal and bend it to look like the little knobs. I do have the door completed here to the greenhouse. It says garden, so I've done that. Just got lots and lots of little tiny pieces. Here's a little birdhouse that I've done. A little tiny birdhouse. It's so cute. Like, it's just so small, and these little tiny things bring me so much joy. I don't know why. I think it's a lot of nostalgia for me, but here's a little easel. It just brings a lot of nostalgia just from admiring that miniature dollhouse that my grandma owns. But it also, I don't know, makes something small and it's just instantly cute. I don't know what it is, but little things make me so happy. This craft is not for the faint of heart, if any of you are interested in trying it out. It's very difficult. It's not for children. It requires a lot of patience, concentration, very good glue that dries very fast. Let me tell you that. And tweezers. You put most of the stuff together with tweezers. And some of the flowers you make and stuff are so freaking small, it can be rage-inducing. Like, my flowers are really not that good in this. It's difficult, and I have a great admiration for people who make it look so easy online, because it's not easy. And the second whip I have in the miniature category is honestly hardly a whip, because I've barely started it, but it is this beautiful seaside beach house. I will show you guys the close-up picture of the box. This is actually a kit from Hobby Lobby. You can get these things from Hobby Lobby. The other one's from Amazon. Hobby Lobby has a brand called Mayberry Street. It's usually on one of their back walls in the very back of the store, or the side. It's usually like on a back wall and not necessarily one of the aisles. Anyways, I have been to far too many Hobby Lobbies. But this is the kit, and you would be surprised at the price. You may think something like this with that many hours of work and fun would cost a lot more, but $30 for this whole kit, and I'm telling you, like, hundreds of hours of work can go into this. As you can see, it's a little like beach house. Sorry for my ring lights shining against it, but you make the little living room and the kitchen and the bedroom upstairs and the beach, and it's just so much fun. I've barely started it. I think I intended it to be like a stream project, and that was like right before I took a big long break over the summer, figuring out what I wanted to do with my life. So I think this is it. Yeah, I'm looking at this pile of stuff, and I think the only thing I've made is this couch. Hey, but it's a start. It's a start. It's a really good couch, okay? I made this really cute seaside couch. That's the only thing I've done so far, and that thing took me hours. literal hours. Like, it took me a long time. So I love this craft dearly. It's very messy. It's very rage-inducing sometimes, but I think the better I get and the more little tips and tricks that I learn, it goes a lot smoother. We made it to the last category with minutes to spare. I've got to leave and go somewhere in literally 5 minutes. So, wow, that video took a really long time. I know this video is going to be really long, but I thought it was nice, like, for myself to get organized, and it might be cool for you guys to listen/watch and just see how many projects I have that I've started and not completed. Oh my god. So happy end of 2021, you guys. I hope this year wasn't too rough for you all. It's been a roller coaster for me. I'm sure it has been in a lot of ways for a lot of you guys watching as well. But hopefully there are some good things that happen that you can focus on from this year. And I hope that you have stuff to look forward to in 2022. I know I do. I'm really excited for my goals for my business and my crafting goals, and for this channel. I'm really excited for what's in store. I'm excited to start the Crafting Podcast and just get to talk about crafty stuff with you guys. That's my favorite thing to do. I just want to thank you guys so much for being a part of my year and being a part of what made up the good parts of 2021 for me. Thank you so much. I hope that you're safe and happy and healthy this holiday season. And I keep saying I'll see you in the next year, and then I make another video. But I think this is my last video of the year. I'm pretty sure. So I'll see you guys in January. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment down below about what you think about my works in progress. Or is there anything that you would just scrap? Or is there anything that you really want to see me finish, that you want to just encourage me on doing? Because I will take it. I need all the encouragement I can get to finish some of these long neglected projects that I have just not even touched for years. So if you have any motivational words to send my way, I would gladly accept them. What is your favorite craft out of all of these? Like, I'm very curious. I know a lot of people make up this channel. We've got diamond painters and crocheters mostly. But what is your go-to craft out of that list? What is your favorite? Are you like multi-craftual like me? Do you do a lot of different crafts, or do you just focus on one thing? I'm very curious. But anyways, thanks for watching, you guys. Make sure you like this video and you're subscribed if you're not already. And a big thank you to my Ko-fi supporters. Thank you so much for financially supporting this channel and being a beloved member of the community. My thing has become very awkward sign off, so I'm just gonna be awkward again, because that's what I do best. So okay, bye. Happy New Year. Bye.